Okay. Um, Welcome to the first, or maybe zero, devlog for my first project of 2026. This project, I'm not going to be explaining what the project is yet because it's sort of like, well, obviously it's in development. It's also still sort of in concepting, and what I'm doing this month. Um, is going to be mostly testing and setting up some basic things and some essential things, uh, and overall learning because I'll be tackling a few things in this project that I haven't tackled before, like multiplayer. So yeah, the I started this project, started working on it on the third, so the first Saturday of the new year, and I gave myself 1 week to complete a goal, and that goal was to connect two clients using this project over Steam, which I completed on Sunday. So the day after it, and considering I set that goal, I set that goal in the evening of Saturday. It was, yeah. So basically what I realized then was if that wasn't the hard part, it means the hard part is coming next. And yeah, so the hard part is replication for multiplayer. It's not actually setting it up, at least not on Unreal Engine, because Unreal Engine is very nice and does everything for you. Except for replication, in which you have to actually think about that. So yeah, I'll be doing a lot of learning about replication in the coming months during this project, and I'm still don't have everything done. But for the rest of that week, my goal sort of became a vague try and set up some game stuff a little bit. I did a little bit of that, but not really that much. The next week, though, so this is the end of the second week, my goal was to set up the first core system for the game. It's a very simple one that most gamers will just not think of and think, oh yeah, that's natural. And it's the interaction system. It's essential for most games. It's going to be essential for our game, one way or another. And what do I mean by interaction system? I simply mean being able to go into your game, walking up to something, and then the game recognizing, oh, you're next to it. Oh, you're looking at it. Oh, you're trying to interact with it. You're picking it up. You just dropped it. You walked away. The game needs to be able to track this. So that's the first system I made. Now, I'm sure that there are plugins other people have already made that do this thing for me, and that would have been easier. But this is something I actually quite enjoy doing. Quite like making systems, and I really want to be able to, well, make my own things. I don't just want to use stuff on Unreal Marketplace or anything like that. Don't mind the millions of print strings. They're a bit annoying, actually. I can make them go a bit shorter because right now they last for too long. But yes, so this system is written in C++. It's sort of like the third version of this type of thing I've tried to make. Um, the first one was entirely in blueprints. The second one was also entirely in blueprints, but this one now is entirely in C++. And I think it's definitely the best one I've written, not only because it's in C++, which kind of makes it end up running faster, even though it shouldn't be that demanding. It technically runs faster, but it also is much more logical in the way it does stuff. Obviously, when you do something for the third time, you figure out the better ways of doing it. So my past ones have had the problem of, although they did the thing, they didn't necessarily do it in a way that made sense. So like an object might be like, oh, you're looking at it, and then you click on it, like you start interacting with it, but like the functions get called in a weird order. So like maybe you started you so you go up to it, for example, you can see, and it sees like, oh, you're looking at me. Oh, you just clicked on me. And then the thing was like, oh, so when you clicked on me, you started to interact with me, and then you stopped looking at me because you didn't need to do that anymore. And then like the trigger sort of still happened maybe. So I just have all these things that it's kind of weird. But this one I specified, like I made a specific order that everything was going to happen, and I also added more to it. So let's start quickly explaining it. So first, the circle. Second, this line. The circle detects if something is nearby. Simple. The system only cares about stuff that has the interface, uh, and also only cares about if it has. So it cares about the interface, and if it responds to, it needs to ignore, not ignore, but overlap the uh, trace channel that you give the component. So, for example, if you just look here, so it says interactable channel. So this is a copy of the component, and I've created the interact component, or interact trace channel with project setting, the project settings. There's a couple other things in there, of course. Obviously, you can do this with any of the. You can use this with visibility, and it will try and look at everything here. But if it doesn't implement the interface, then it doesn't care. So it's really up to you how you do that. But yeah, so obviously I'm running around here and it doesn't care. These two pillars actually implement, or they respond to the interact channel, but they don't have the interface, so the system doesn't care. Anyway, so it hovers over anything that is nearby. So you can see I'm standing here and I'm got triggered overlap 3 times. That's because that, that, and that are all overlapped. This one doesn't show that it's overlapped though, right? Because you're expecting them to be red. This one in particular, essentially is asking the system, hey, you can overlap me, but don't give me the highlight. So it doesn't give it the highlight. It's excluded. But I can hover over it, and you can see up top it now says triggered focus. Wait a minute. This doesn't get overlapped at all. Sorry, I got my things wrong. This is getting overlapped, but it isn't getting the highlight. So this is the one. This one here doesn't get overlapped because it's asking, hey, don't overlap me. All right, I don't want it. But you can still focus me. When you focus something, it gets this green highlight. And obviously you can see I'm not able to do it here because this one is like, hey, no, you're not allowed to focus me. Bit confusing, but it's just for testing. And you can see that this guy not being focusable is not blocking the one behind it, which was a limitation that I had for a bit, but I fixed it. And of course, so basically this right now what I've shown is just finding stuff that's nearby and finding whatever you're looking at and highlighting it, or not highlighting it if you don't want it to highlight. But that's not interacting. Interacting is when you pick up something, when you're able to like click on it, pick it up, and hold and drop it, right? Like what I'm doing here. So that's what this does. Okay, I forgot to explain this. This is my second version of this recording because I wasn't able to demonstrate something and it was stupid. But obviously you've noticed the rate seems slow. It seems laggy even though everything else is smooth. That's just because I've manually set the tick rate to 0.1 seconds. Um, yeah, I've manually set this tick interval to zero point 0.1 seconds. But if you want, you can just set it to 0, which then will obviously make it tick much faster. I need to update that. Obviously, don't want that. So these debug lines are drawn and they last for like 1/10 of a second. I need to quickly go change that. But then now it's like, look, much smoother. Very nice. So yeah, but yeah. So I set it to 0.1 seconds just for testing reasons and because it is a little bit more performant, even though the component should be pretty performant. Anyway, just picking up and dropping objects is also not necessarily useful, but you can pick up and drop an object onto something. So you can see here, uh, even though I've got this holding, there is this here that I can still focus on. This particular tree is actually a receiver. So it receives and it just says, hey, you just tried to drop something onto me and I like it. I'll let you know, I'll receive it, right? So the cube here has been like, oh, I got received, so I don't need to do anything. So it's just gonna sit here instead of updating itself to drop. Simple as. Yeah, so that's basically what I've done over the week. System is not completed yet. I will quickly demonstrate one thing that I still need to uh, fully solve, or one thing I still need to fix, or yeah, figure out, which is getting this to work with multiplayer replication, basically. I'm not sure if I need to be replicating the functions, like the actual logic of the thing. I don't think I do. You can see here, for some reason, this guy cannot, cannot really interact with this. I need to figure out why. I can come over here and I can pick it up with the server. So this is the server, and then down here is the client. Client can actually see the server take this around. So this is replicating correctly this way, but the client that is currently connected just can't seem to pick anything up. But yeah, so that's what I've got so far for the system. I've made it to be as, I think I made it agnostic. I think that's the right word or a decent word for this, where basically it should be able to apply to pretty much any project. Um, it doesn't specifically care about this project. So because my plan is I'm gonna take it out and turn it into a plugin and then put that on my portfolio and say, hey, I made this, right? And then I can use that on future projects without making it again, right? Because this is the third time I've made it. And it's like clearly games want these types of systems. I don't need to make it every time I need it. I don't need to make a new one every time. I can just make one that performs very well and does everything I'll need it to do. Anyway, this recording is now approaching 15 minutes, which is 5 minutes more than all my other devlogs for the FNAF project. But yeah, so this devlog is just the first, probably of a decent number, though of course, I haven't shown off much of a game, but that is for the future because the game is still sort of in a bit of a concepting pitch phase. So yeah, but I hope you found this a little bit interesting. Anyway, thanks for stopping by.